I want us to start in downward facing dog this morning. We're going to do a full minute in dog pose. See how it feels to start with this more active position. So come to downward facing dog. Start here. If possible, resist the urge to move a lot in this first minute. Always that underlying movement. Press the hands down and forward. Think thighs back, heels down. Bring attention and awareness to the breath. Let that expansion, release of the breath create the inner movement for this pose. Okay, now pedal out the feet, shake out the head a little bit. And then lower down to child's pose, knees apart, big toes together, sit back. Let the arms be heavy all the way onto the mat, the head heavy all the way onto the mat. Same thing as the dog pose that came before. Try not to move so much in the outer form. Just be here. And then create the movement. Rise up to your fingertips. Lift the forearms, elbows, upper arm bones towards the sky so there's a little bit more visible movement and stretch in the pose. Walk both hands over towards the right side. And then walk the hands across the center and over towards the left side. As you bring yourself back to the center, come up to all fours. Go into cat and cow, move the spine. You can do cat and cow as fast or as slow as you wish. And then once again, greet that downward facing dog position. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Start with the still version. Perhaps noticing if it already feels a bit more open, anything a little different than the first time around. And pedal out the feet, create the little extra movement that feels right for you here. And then change to plank pose. Come forward, shoulders right over the back of the wrist. Be on your toes or on the knees. Squeeze the heels in, squeeze the glutes, lengthen your tailbone, tone the belly. Look a little bit forward. And then as slowly as possible, lower down to the mat. Hug the elbows close into the side and lower, 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 lower. And then drop it all the way down. Go into cobra, lift the chest up, press down through the hands, down through the feet. Keep the squeeze in the glutes just like you do in plank. Change to downward facing dog. You can get there through the knees or straight legs. And we're going to do that slow version 2 more times. Come forward again to plank pose. Hold it there for a moment, nice and toned through the body. Keeping the elbows tucked close into the side. Start to bend the elbows and slowly lower, lower, lower. Change. Cobra, lift the chest up. And change again, downward facing dog. And do that slow vinyasa flow 1 more time. Come forward to plank. Your choice, toes or knees. Think of a straight line though as you lower down in either variation. Whole breath in cobra here. Peel the chest up. Strong legs make upper back opening a little more doable. And then downward facing dog. I often think slowing it down is more taxing than if we had done, the 10 push-ups there. Give yourself time here in the dog pose. And then bend your knees and walk your hands backwards to the feet. Ragdoll, hold on to the elbows, sway a little bit from side to side. Hang heavy. Then bring it all the way up to standing. You can roll through. Once upright, take a walk to the front end of the yoga mat. Mountain pose. And then inhale and lift both arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. A little quicker this time is fine. Lift for cobra. And change to down dog. Noticing these differences in holds and paces today. And then look forward to the hands. Step or jump forward. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Go again. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Plank pose. Down to the mat. Lift for cobra. Change to downward facing dog. Next, inhale, look to your hands, step or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. 1 more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to your yoga mat. Cobra, peel the chest up. Downward facing dog. Look to the hands, move forward. Finishing off the sun salutation, half lift. Forward fold. Stand, reach both arms to the sky. Palms together, center the chest. Pause here, take in a couple of breaths. Okay, bring your left hand to your hip, right arm straight up into the air overhead. Kick your left heel towards your seat. Our flamingo pose, usually we hold on same hand to foot. We're going opposite hand to foot. Can you reach your right hand back? Try to find your left foot and send your left arm now up into the air. You can pull the left ankle away from you, more towards the back of your mat. And then lower it all down. Lift the left arm overhead, place the right hand at your waist, kick the right heel towards your seat, opposite arm and leg. Take the top hand, reach back, grab hold of your foot. The hard thing here is trying to keep our hips square. And then you switch, right arm up and kick the heel back. Bring it all back in. Come to downward facing dog. So that was same movement in a different plane. We're used to doing that from all fours. So we'll see that here. Come down to the knees. We're in our tabletop. We start with the right hand today out in front and the left leg up and back. So opposite arm and leg. If you bend the back knee, you're in that same position that we just tried standing. How is it different? How is it the same? Grab hold and lift. So just playing today with different paces of movement, with stillness and movement, and with different planes of the same pose. Touch it down, back to all fours, and then let's go for second side. Left arm out in front. Lift the right leg up and back. Bend the right knee. Take the left hand, hold on to the right foot. Just square off the hips and shoulders. Push the foot more actively into the hand to help extend the pose. And then release. Back down, all fours. Again, into downward facing dog. Find your still version of dog pose. Nice big full stretch there. All right, lift the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Step the foot all the way forward in between your hands. Come up for a high lunge, so have the feet hip distance apart, better support and balance you. Arms overhead. From our high lunge, take it into warrior two. Spin the back heel down, open it up. Gaze out over the front fingertips, even as the energy of the body is quite wide and open to the side. Can you bend the front knee even just a tad bit more? Let it widen towards the pinky toe side of the foot. If I do that with a response of strengthening in the back glute, it's often easier. Okay, cartwheel the hands down around the front foot. Step back to downward facing dog. Combining just those two poses on the second side. Lift your left leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Step it all the way forward. First pose is the high lunge. Bring the torso upright. Square off the hips, arms overhead. And then shifting to warrior two, spin the back heel down. Open hips, shoulders to the side length of the mat. Extend the arms in either direction. Again, gaze out over the front fingertips. And then now try to bend the front knee just a little bit more. Expand the pose a tiny bit. And circle the hands to frame the front foot. Step it all the way back, downward facing dog. Walk the feet a little bit forward, the hands a little bit back, so we end up in the center of our mat. And then come on up to standing, hands to the waist, point the elbows up, press down through your feet, come up to standing. Lift both arms to the sky. Take your right knee up and into the chest. Kick it back behind you, warrior three, bend the left knee. Hinge forward from the waist, reach the hands forward and the foot back. While in warrior three, can you wrap your right elbow under the left elbow for eagle arms? And then stand back up, trying to float the right leg the entire time. Knee back up and into the chest. Full eagle across the right leg over the left. Wrap the legs once or twice. Try to be vertical now in the torso. And then unwrap the leg. Unwrap the arms, arms up to the sky. So this change up doing warrior three first. Oftentimes I would build eagle into the pose first. Left knee up and into the chest. Go for warrior three. Kick it back as you hinge forward. Kick the left leg behind you. And then from there, can we stabilize in the legs and core as we wrap left elbow under the right. Eagle arms. Try to stand back up, floating the left leg the entire way. Knee to chest. Bend the right knee so that you can cross the legs into your eagle legs. Unwrap the left leg, unwrap the arms, send them back up to the sky. Now wrap right arm under the left, go back to those eagle arms. With 2 feet flat on the ground, how does this feel? Nice stretch and opening across the shoulders and upper back here. Add the legs, wrap the right leg over the left. Perhaps fatigued from making this happen a second time. Maybe more steady from seeing it a second time or coming into it from an easier standing position. Release the leg, release the arms, lift them up to the sky. Second side, wrap the left elbow under the right. Come back to your hands. Hold just the arms here first. I always love this stretch. And then add the balance component in the legs, left leg on top of the right. 1 or 2 crosses. Sometimes I keep the toes tapped on the ground to make this more doable, especially when I start to tire. Then we'll unwrap the legs, unwrap the arms. Again, reach the arms up to the sky. Nicely done. Exhale, forward fold. Let's check out downward facing dog, see what's happening here now. Down dog. Okay, from down dog, look towards your hands. Sidestep the hands a little towards the left side of the mat so there's some clearance for you, and step the right foot into your lunge with the hands on the inside of the foot. And we're going to step back, down dog, don't move your hands. Do that 2 more times. Swing the foot forward. So kind of checking out if I give myself just a little more clearance, is that step forward easier? Maybe it's just different. And then step the foot back and sidestep your hands over to the other side. So there's a little more room. Big swing of the left foot forward into your lunge and back. Do it 2 more times just to check in. Left foot forward and back. And then left foot forward and back. If you like that exercise and are doing it on your own, I often prop my hands under a block to give even more clearance and see how it can change. All right, lower the knees down to the mat. Sit back on your heels here for a moment and just pause. So hero pose, sitting back, bum towards the heels. If the knees, ankles are feeling this too much this morning, you could be up kneeling. Slide a block between your bum and your heels to give just a little bit of height difference. I just want a little bit of a pause. Okay, and then this one you might want to watch first. It's that same sort of thought of walking our hands to one side, but instead of the same foot coming out to the outside, we're trying to cross under the body. So with my hands on the right side of the mat, I'm going to step my right foot as much as I can up towards the left side of the mat. And then it'll go back. Do that with me. Down dog with the hands on the right side of the mat. And then try to send your right foot in a twist under the body towards the left side of the mat. And I'm even stepping my foot all the way off the mat. And then back, and try it 2 more times. Step forward and under, and back, and forward and under, and back. Again, if you happen to have blocks or want to try it again later with blocks, I find that gives even more space. All right, walk the hands to the left side of the mat, and then we're trying to take our left foot up towards the right side. I've got my outer thigh pinned right against the outer upper arm bone or elbow of the right arm. Try it 3 times, forward and back. And stay back. Like a little bear crawl, bend the knees and walk in until your knees come right up to your elbows or even upper arm bones for crane pose, crow pose. Knees can even go as high as to the armpits here, just kind of playing with the weight. Lean forward and pick up one or both feet off of the mat. Play with crane pose here. One or both feet. Changing trajectory of the head a little bit more down, hips a little bit more up to make that work. And then back through your little bear crawl. Take the knees back, back, back until we're all the way into downward facing dog. Well tired of being on our hands, look forward to the hands and step to the outside of your hands for Malasana yogi squat. Send your hips down low, keep your feet flat on the ground, palms together, lift your chest. Breath in, breath out. We did a 60-minute class yesterday, exploring some of the different repetitions that we've done today. Right arm, wrap it to the inside of your thigh, left arm up to the sky. So there is a little more practice on those variations if you want a full another 60 minutes. Take the left arm to the inside of your thigh, hand out to the side, right arm to the sky. Back into the center, sit down. Just kind of fall back and stretch your legs out straight in front of you. Take the arms up to the sky, seated forward fold, fold over. Hey, buddy. Stay with the seated forward fold. And then inhale, bring your torso back upright. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. Keep the hands back behind you and kind of lean back slightly as you push your feet in, extend the knees out and lift the chest up towards the sky. And then change, walk the hands forward, all the way out. Bring the body back upright. Keep your right foot in just like it is and extend the left leg out. I'm going to draw the right heel even closer to the midline of the body, right at the pubic bone, or even a little bit out towards the right side. From there, add a little twist. Look towards the extended leg. Take the right hand to the left foot. Oof. And this good twist underneath the torso. Try to square the shoulders if it makes your right seat come a little lighter off of the ground. Don't worry about that so much. I'm holding on to the foot, but you could also be holding on just across your thigh or calf. And then release your hold and come back upright. Switch sides here. Take the right leg out, left foot in, or your second side. Again, I'm trying to bring heel pretty close to the pubic bone. Full close of this left knee joint. So that leg's doing its own work, and then there's a twist. Look towards the extended leg. And take the opposite arm as leg. Try to reach it over. About in here, we realize it's all interconnected. My knee's not going to let me do that on that side. So I just take that part of the equation out and still get the twist and reach. So always just finding our ways. Where are the variations? My dog definitely wants to be fed. He's like, you're not going to get up. I'll go find somebody else. Okay, work your way back upright and bring the soles of both feet together. Once more in Baddha Konasana, you pick your version. Do you want to lean back, hold on to the feet, fold forward, reach the arms out, fold forward, whatever it might be. Second time around here. And then hold on to the outside of your knees. Pull it all in. Give yourself a little bit of a hug. And draw the chest away from the thighs as you do that. So you get that upper back stretch again. All right. I wanted to give us a nice bit of stretch, a little respite from being on our hands. But I'm going to go into the hands one more time. For one more arm balance, and it starts to put all of these elements together from the practice. Watch really quick. Downward facing dog. We're going to start with that cross under. This is the twist in the torso that we just worked with. And then I like to walk the hands further back so that there's one line from my front foot to the fingertips, and try to bend both elbows and the right knee a lot here to create a little shelf. And I'm trying to pick up one foot, either or both feet. And step back. We're going to give it a try. Go stage by stage and see what happens for us. So starting in downward facing dog. Step your right foot under the body towards the left side, as we've already practiced. And then just kind of fiddle with it until your fingers and toes are all approximately in the same line, and create the little shelf in the elbows by bending the elbows, trying to match your outer thigh to the upper arm bone. If that's working, it might be your stop stage, or you try to pick up the front foot, or try to pick up the back foot, or both at the same time. Work it all the way back to your downward facing dog. And then try it on the second side. Send your left foot to the outside of your right hand. Walk the hands back a little bit, bend the elbows, bend the knee, try to create your shelf. Excellent. Lean forward enough. Head closer to the ground is helpful to get front foot or back foot, or even both off the ground at the same time. Carefully crawl your way out of that, back to dog pose. And make one last expansive dog pose with the feet like as wide as your yoga mat. Hands a little wider than usual as well. Take up the space. Give it another breath. I always like to try the hard things. Always brings about a little insight. And that is a positive result. Come on back to full plank. Lower flat down to the mat. Reach the hands back behind you. Turn the palms up. Locust. Lift everything that you can up. And lower it down. Press back to child's pose. And this is that heavy child's pose. Relax the arms, the head, everything that you can. Let the mind, the body swing and transition towards cool down. And then when you are ready, might be sooner or later, transition to lie down onto your back. Set the soles of the feet to the mat like bridge pose. Reach and hold on to the, not hold on, but try to brush the fingertips against the heel, just barely there. Inhale and lift the hips up in bridge. Exhale and lower down. 2 more times. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. This time, inhale, lift and stay. Sort of noticing how the static bridge feels for you versus the moving bridge, the dynamic movement. And lower the hips back down. Let's close here with an easy figure 4. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. Point the knee out to the side. Pull the legs in for the figure 4 shape. Hold under the thigh or on top of the shin. This is always a nice addition to a cool down practice. Hits those big muscle groups in the thighs and hips. That are always used in our yoga practice. Come to the second side. I find this especially helpful after a strong twist practice like we did, trying to get into our arm balance, the things that led up to it. It helps to balance out and keep low back, sacroiliac joint happy, at least in my body, post-practice. Hope it does the same for you. Set both feet back down onto the mat, as wide as the mat, and then little windshield wipers. Go side to side here. Drop the knees, side to side. Yogis, this is the opportunity to add in then any last bits of movement. Another squeeze of the knees, supine twist, an inversion, any last bit that would feel nice to you before a moment of settling, stillness, and silence. No rush from that unwinding, but when you're ready, do find your Shavasana, be it lying back or a seated position today. Bring more awareness back to breath and body, a little bit of movement. If you're lying back, come back upright to a seated position. And from the seated position, palms together, right at your heart center. It's a way of offering the gratitude built from the practice for you and offering that out to the rest of our day, those that we meet, those that we see. The closing sound of Om. Sing along, listen, or tune it out. Empty out the breath. Take a deep breath in. Namaste. Thank you. Thanks for being